Okay, so were you aware that Picadillo grew in popularity?
No, I wasn't really.
Yeah.
I know Eddie. I talked to him on the phone once in a while. He'd say, "Hey, they're really playing that album back."
Yeah, they're playing it, but Picadillo is the sleeper that grew into the monster.
Yeah.
I say it's the #1 tune of the '60s.
Gee,
People place other disc jockeys place it in the first 10. And how do you like that? Right?
That's wild. I wasn't really aware of that.
Yes, well, you never do. Like Tito Puente recorded Abaniquito, and it was just another tune, and it became the one that started this whole thing.
But the wild thing is Oye Como Va. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
I mean, not crazy because it's natural. I know one thing. My daughter really, years ago, from my playing stuff, got interested. Now my son's just starting to really dig it. She, of course, like every kid, bought Santana's version of it, which is great because it's got that modern sound that kids like with the guitar and the organ and everything. But I played her Puente's version from, I guess it was an album that goes back 15 years. And she said, "Gee, man, I didn't know that. I didn't know that had been recorded before." So she started playing Puente's version.
Tito Puente got the idea from listening to Chanchu Yo, Cachao. Did you know that?
No, you mean the bass player Cachao?
Yeah, well, he recorded a tune called Chanchu Yo. It goes dum, dum, dum.
Bassline?
Yeah, the bass line,
yeah.
And Tito built on it into this. Did you know that Philadelphia Mambo is Serenata Rítmica, Noro Morales' theme song?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, it is. If you listen to Serenata Rítmica, in fact, when I send you this tape, I'll send you a Serenata Rítmica, and you'll see where Tito got the idea. Yeah, but you know, some jealous musicians, like they are of you, they say, "Oh no, it's not creative." Are you listening? If you listen to the way he grew and expanded on that, how can you say that? You know.
Well, you know, there's an album that maybe you're familiar with. I don't know. And I know when we were on the road, not on the road. I went to San Juan with Puente, and I went as a guest artist, and Eddie Palmieri and Joe Huba. And they had a tape that Puente did at Birdland. He had a jazz, kind of a Woody Herman type band for a while, doing like modern jazz charts with the rhythm section with Mongo and Willie.
Yeah.
And it's a monster album. I don't know how it sold here or what any impact. It must have been done in the late 50s or.
Because I have some live tapes from Birdland of Puente.
That's where.
If you like them,
maybe
I'll sell them to you.
Maybe that was just a
These
tape.
were air shots.
Air shots. That's
they
it.
Were. I got air shots of Puente in '53 and
That's
58.
the one that I'm referring to. It's a great band.
He did Mambo Birdland and
yeah.
I'll make you a copy of that. I think I really dig it, you know?
I know I
think
would.
you'll love that.
The same thing they played in Puerto Rico, yeah.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. When did you leave Verve then for Sky?
68, I guess.
68.
Yeah.
Was there a reason for that, Cal?
Well, yeah. Norman Schwartz, who was Gary's manager at that time, thought that it might be time for Gabor Zabel, who was very hot then, and Gary, and to get guys together. Yeah, and to start our own company. Well, I was reluctant because, frankly, I wasn't ready to invest a great deal of money in something that could fold. You know, I didn't have that kind of money. None of us did. But Norman raised some dough from guys around town. I think they started the company with something like $40,000 or $50,000, which is, small amount of money. And I know I was very encouraged by the first couple of releases by Gabor and Gary's things. And then I don't know all the complications that just after about a year, it became, they were recording too many things, too many people, too many cost factors.
Is that what happened? Yeah.
Yeah, and the distributors weren't sending in the dough. It's an old story in the record business.
Yeah.
And even though the album sold really quite well, about the end of the 2-year thing, a lot of problems developed, which I won't go into. But anyway.
But Solar Heat turned out to be a monster.
Well, it would sold, I don't know, 14 or 15,000, which is not bad. It's not
Never
good.
My Love. You gave me that album when it came out.
That's right.
It blew my mind.
Yeah, Never My Love.
Pacheco didn't want his name mentioned on there because he was with Fania.
That's right. He did that.
But you have some heavy-duty guys there.
I know. Right, Barreto was, and by the way, that's another guy who he's one of those all-around guys. You
did Eye of the Devil, which
that's Gary's theme. Yeah, that's a beautiful theme.
Is it also called 13 from the movie?
Yeah, right.
Because I played both of them back to back on one show, and I got a call where they could buy it. I said, "Where the heck can you buy it?" You know what I mean? They're out of print.
Yeah, well, again, we got some very good publicity from people around the country, and It just is one of those things that I don't know where it started to happen, but I know Gabor was not maybe too happy with the relationship. It got involved in some personality problems, and which is an old story. Sure. And so I knew the thing was ready to fold, and so I, at this time, Saul Zantz of Fantasy, I gave him a call and I said I'd like to come home again. Mm-hmm. So we sat down and figured out a new contract. And of course that's another story with the Creedence Clearwater. After Saul bought the company from the Weiss brothers, they came out with their first Creedence Clearwater album. So they really scored heavily in building up that company financially.
I know it's a monster now, especially with the releases of those old things. It's got to be selling.
And Saul Zantz, or the company invested, produced the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, the one that's coming out now that's doing great. So Saul knows what he's doing. There's no question about it.
So when you left Sky, what do you call, you and Gary still good friends?
Oh yeah, sure. And then, tragedy. I got a call one day. Must be about 3 or 4 years ago now.
He died at age 39, 1971 of a heart attack.
Was it 71? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was a shocker. And nobody could believe it. And I know that, let's see, that was, I thought it was just about 3 years ago. You say 71. You remember
I
that
have it all down. I copied it.
I thought the guy was putting me on who phoned me, this Rudy that worked for the company in L.A. Because Gary's got a wild sense of humor, and everybody did. And he says, I got some news, Gary died, and I thought there was a joke coming, you know. But...
your tribute to him on the last...
Gary's theme, yeah.
Last Bolero in Berkeley. Yeah. Was so beautiful. What can... I hear...
That was a theme he originally did for... America the Beautiful album. That was the main theme that ran through the whole album. Gary did a special called America the Beautiful about the pollution. There was, and he had different themes, but this was the main theme. And we did it. I had an idea of a 6/4 feeling with the light Latin overtone. And Jerome was on
what a remembrance! You must have been in some mood because I've heard that about 4 times in a row, and it's so beautiful.
That's built nice. I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
It's sad that it has to exist, especially with I'm an outsider, really. But after being around New York and sometimes reading that magazine that comes, all the petty things that go on, the jealousies and the who gets top billing, I don't believe it. It's hard for me to believe that these guys, as great as they play, would go through these ego trips.
Tom billing don't mean anything, because I'll tell you why. Right now, what's drawing the people to the Beacon Theater is not Mongo or Willie, it's you.
Well,
I'm telling you that sincerely.
Well, that's a little heavy, but I know that the only thing I'm looking forward to is hopefully to do some of those tunes that Willie
and the proof of this Mongo will be, for the next week or so, all you're going to hear about is Tjader. Wait, mark my words, and you're going to hear his recording.
I better go rehearse right now.
No, you're going to hear it because it's not because you're not from New York. It's just that you're a living legend already, and they know about it. And
maybe I should ask for a raise then, huh, Max?
Well, whatever you ask for, you deserve. I say that sincerely.
No, but thanks for the nice words, of course. I know this much, that the things we did, going back through those early groups and including all the periods with Mongo and Willie, I really can, and Chombo, I really consider that those groups, we were a little bit out in front. Not the rhythms, because all the guys had been doing most of those rhythms in New York for years, all the way. I'm talking about an approach to what they call Latin jazz.
Oh, no. Yeah,
because we were doing we were doing not just montunas, but all night, but we were playing jazz tunes. Like when you hear Chombo play The Lady is a Tramp, or one of those things.
You on there. You brought something.
Well, no, plenty had been doing it, but not with this, like the small group with the
Machito was the one who invented Latin jazz in '43.
That's right.
But coming from him, he never heard the innovations that you did. Now this guy is such a big person. In the Charlie Palmieri article I wrote, I say no one except Machito, Charlie Palmieri, Tito Rodriguez, and Carol Tjader is held in high esteem by the Latin music aficionados. I'll send you a copy of that story, because this is the truth. Every disc jockey that plays a Tjader...
My ego is soaring, Max.
No. You know why? Because of what you put on the back of the album. It's highly appreciated. It stands out.
But that just seems so normal to me.
Yeah, but you're the only one that did that. Do you notice now? And everybody's taking notice of it now that I'm writing about it. That, here you are, you're the selling point, and yet you highlight these other guys and you've given them a break, because a lot of them became stars because...
As a matter of fact, let me try to set some dates up. And I think Mongo did a couple of albums with for Fantasy during that period. He went to Havana to do one, I think, and
yes,
and then Willie didn't do one, I guess, until after he left the group. But
yeah, but you see how.
But you see, you're only as good, Max, and this is so obvious, and it has to be honestly.
But you see how it helps you.
Yeah, but you're only as good as the guys you got playing with you, and I grew up with that. You can get an all-star group together, of all-stars, individuals, and try to make it, and guys are too egotistically involved, nothing happens. But if you've got guys that are stars that are sympathetic and empathetic to what you're doing, and then it's easy to play. I remember the first time I sat in with Machito, with that band backing me up, I was so excited I could hardly even play. It was so beautiful. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference between, like some of the groups I've had, the guy comes in for a while and has been used to playing jazz and doesn't feel that Latin time. And it doesn't happen. After Willie and Mongo left, boy, that's called the bottom dropping out of a group. You know, how do you replace those two guys as a team? It's pretty tough. I'm sure there are guys around town and here in New York and other places too that individually were in good shape. But as far as working as a team, Mongo and Willie have been playing together for years with plenty. They knew all the breaks. They had all that down, you know.
Yeah, but the vibraphone sound, the things they were doing, I didn't hear no one on do. Tito Puente could play typical vibes, and he could play jazzy. But I don't know, there's a feeling or a flavor that's a Cal Tjader that you know it's his signature, and that's Cal Tjader. Yeah. That's not Tito Puente, that's not Oscar Garcia, it's not one else. You know? Well,
that's nice to hear, Max, again, but I have to be honest, too. I'm sure a lot of my playing, I would pick the two guys, would be Milt Jackson and Tito Puente for both idioms. And I listened to those guys so long that I'm sure some of my ideas come out. I know I absolutely quote Puente in the Cuban Fantasy, the things he did on that bridge. It's now part of the arrangement, but he was improvising. I forget, the first 8 bars or 16 bars.
Cal, I know Tito Puente for a long time, and he is an egotist. And he never praises anybody, but when he praised you about, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago when I was taking information from him, I almost fell off the floor. Yeah. So that in itself is a compliment, because Tito does not compliment anyone. Machito does, but it's sincere. And I guess it's you can say that it's sincere when Tito does it, because he very rarely does it. And he paid you the highest compliment.
Well, that's like...
This was in his office at 1674 Broadway.
Yeah, that's great.
I stood there and I, you know, like saying, wow.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he's had this rivalry thing with other bands, you know, and I guess you have to do the best you can to try to survive. And probably this is why he never said it, who his influence was in that. But when he told me that day, I said, wow, you know, this is too much. Cal, give me some of your favorite tunes.
Okay, would you just hold on?
Cal, I want to thank you on behalf of WBAI for taking this time out so you could appear on a special An Afternoon with Cal Tjader.
Okay, well, listen, all I want to say is being back in New York again is great. It's been a year and a half too long, and I want to thank all the listeners to WBAI, especially Max Salazar and also Roger Dawson for playing all the sides that I've recorded with many of the great musicians here in New York over the years. And again, I hope you enjoy the new albums coming out in about 2 weeks, arranged by Ayrto Moreira, the great...
Is it going to be on Fantasy, Cal?
Yes, it'll be on Fantasy.
And what's the name of it?
Amazones.
Amazones.
And that's one of the tunes that...
I want to inject here also at the same time that the disc jockeys from WKCR, Carlos de Jesus, Carlos de Leon, and Jose Cheo Diaz also play a lot of your recordings.
Well, many thanks to them, Max, needless to say. And I hope when we come back we can stick around for a little longer than this.
Cal, before we end this hour with Cal Tjader, is there any places would you like to play your New York here?
Well, yeah, the first one that I can think of was Corso up on 88th, isn't it, or 86th?
86th Street.
86th Street. We had some great nights there with opposite Puente and seeing those great dancers again. I don't know really what's happened here. I did enjoy playing at Madison Square Garden. A couple of times we did it, and also the Schaefer Beer Festivals in the summertime. Those are nice concerts when you play opposite Mongo or some of the Latin bands like Barreto.
Well, I hope that the music that I've played for this last hour will be the drive to get you back here more often, 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah, well, I hope so too, Max.
Cal, thank you very much.
Well, my pleasure again, and I want to thank you for all the nice things you've said, and hope I can live up to the reputation.
You have already, Cal. You have.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Max. Okay.